Record. Okay. I think it's recording.
Yep.
All right. So we all know that video is king, right? It's important to be doing video. Now on Instagram, the most beneficial type of post is to do an Instagram reel. The reel is going to get you the most views, the most reach. IGTV these days isn't going to get you a whole lot. I would say if you're going to do a longer video, because a reel is only up to about a minute. If you're going to do a longer video, it should be an Instagram live, and then you can save it as an Instagram TV. That's going to give you better views.
Question there, Whitney. So reels can be a minute, or
Yes.
are they 30 seconds? So they can be up to a minute?
They can be now up to a minute.
Okay.
They're going to do best if they're 15 seconds. But
right.
you do have the capability of doing up to a minute, which is
okay.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you feel like you have a lot to say and you have a lot of content to fit into a video, then just break it up into pieces. I mean, I've definitely done videos that are a minute long, but they don't do quite as well. So if you take bits and pieces, like I know Ruth always talks about this, do different parts so that then people can get a 15-second chunk and then another 15-second chunk.
Okay.
That's going to give you lots of views. Now, you guys, to tell you that like the difference between the different types of videos, in a reel, I'll get up to 15,000 views on a reel, whereas an IGTV or an IG live, I will get 15 views. So it is such a dramatic difference, and it's so worth learning how to do a reel because it's what is going to get your content out to new people. With an IGTV, really, it only goes to a select few of your current people. Yeah. All right. What other questions?
So can you show some of us how to do a reel?
Yes, sure.
And what kind of ideas, like what would we do for reels?
Okay, so for every reel that you do, there needs to be a hook. So within the first 3 seconds of your video, you need to have a hook on there so that people have a reason to stick around. You also should make a cover photo for your reel, and it should have the hook on it. Then obviously the middle piece, you're giving the value. So ideally for the hook, you're saying things like 5 ways to do this, or the 3 best hacks for this. So then throughout your reel, you're sharing those 3 points or 5 points. If you have like 10 points or something that would take up a lot of space within your video, instead you could just say, look in the caption, I've written it all there. The longer amount of time that people stick around on your video, the more views you're going to get. So you want to point people to the caption or make it so that they're watching it multiple times so that they stay on your video longer. Okay, so you have the hook, you have your value, and then lastly, you have a call to action on every single one. For a while there, I kind of forgot to have a hook and I kind of forgot to have a call to action because I was all about value, value, value. And then I realized that's not really doing you any good, and that's not going to lead to conversions if you don't have a hook and a call to action. So the call to action can be anything from read the caption, to like this post, to follow me, to go to the link in my bio, to send me a message, to tell me what you're doing this weekend in the comments, something like that, just to get people engaging, because obviously when they engage, it will be pushed out to more people, plus you're building relationships. Did I answer your question? You asked what to put in a video. Yes, so that's kind of the framework. So it can be difficult sometimes to come up with ideas about what to put in a video, but I highly suggest that if you're ever, I don't know, cleaning the house or going for a walk or driving in your car and you think of an idea like, oh, that would be a really good idea for a reel, write it down, because later you'll lose it and you'll be like, oh, I wish I remembered that idea. I wish I could think about what to put in a reel. Ideas come into my head all the time, and sometimes I wish I write them down, because if you don't, it'll be gone and then you'll lose that idea. So it's good to have a list going so that when you're stumped, you can come to the list and be like, oh yeah, I was going to do a reel about my favorite personal development books. or something like that. So personal development books is a good one. Your DMO is a good one. Your morning routine. Obviously we talk about this a lot, but they should be valuable. So you're either doing some education, or you're being inspirational, you're being relatable, you know, something like that. Like I said, I get ideas for reels sometimes when I'm just doing random things out in the community, or I'll be scrolling through the reels on Instagram and hear a sound that I like, or see someone's idea that I like and think, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for this. Again, write it down, save the audio so that you know how to come back to it. I'll show you guys how to do that if you don't know how. Because a lot of times it'll be the sound that inspires you to do the reel, or you'll see an idea that inspires you, and then you've got to find a sound that goes along with it. It's always going to be beneficial, not always, but most of the time going to be beneficial to use a trending sound. Just going to help your reels get pushed out to more people, but you don't always have to do that, because it's good to have your original ideas as well. So to do a reel, you're going to come on to Instagram. And just like you're doing a story, there's two different ways that you can do this. You can either swipe to the right and it'll come up to like the story section, or you can click this little plus sign up at the top. And then at the bottom, it says post story reel. You click on reel. Or if you're doing the swipe, you will see the same thing down at the bottom, post story reel. You guys are welcome to do this along with me as I'm doing this. Okay, so are we good so far? You're clear with how to get there. Donna, you're lost. What do you need?
I'm in my messages. I don't know. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, now I'm there. Got it.
Okay. So now, and by the way, you guys, you can either record a reel directly in the app, or you can use a video that you've already recorded in your camera roll. There's pros and cons to both, but let's say we're going to record it right here in the app. So I think it's easiest first to find your sound. So you're going to do that by hitting the little music note on the left. And then it will bring up a couple of options for you. Or if you've already saved your sound. So like I said before, if you hear a sound that you like, save it, because then it'll go to saved. So click on saved, and then all the ones that you've saved will be right there. So I'm going to turn this way down, but let's say I'm picking this one. I just did a reel to this. Okay, so now I'm going to move this thing around so that I can pick which piece of the song that I want. And I think I have it set up for 15 seconds. So let's say I want that 15 seconds, and then I'm going to hit done. And I know that it's actually it's at 30 seconds because this little clock right here says 30. But if I want to change that, I'm going to click on it and it's going to change to 60 seconds. Or if I want it at 15, I'm going to click on it again and it'll go to 15 seconds. It's nice that you have all three options. Minute is good for if you have a lot to say, but 15 seconds is going to be the best to capture the attention of the people. Everyone good so far? Okay. So then here it says 1x. That's just the speed at which it's recording. So if you have a sound that you want to use that's really fast and you feel like it's like too fast to keep up with, you can click on that and turn it to 2x so that it slows the song down, so that as you're moving to it, you don't feel like you're going to have a heart attack because you're moving so fast. Or you can speed it up as well. The next option there is there's little stars. That's a filter. So you click on that and then you can choose a filter if you want to use a filter down at the bottom. The next one is just like a beauty mode. I don't typically use that, but you can if you want. And then the last one is a timer. So if you're like starting far from your camera and you want the song to start automatically, then you're going to set the timer so that it gives you a 5 or 10 second countdown, and then it will start, and it will tell you when to start. So that looks like this. And then when you're ready to start the timer, you hit set timer. And then when you're ready for it actually to start, you hit that button and it will count down. And then the song will start playing. Now, another option that you can do, if you know you want to have a little break in the music, so if you wanted to do a transition or something, you're going to go to the timer again, and you're going to shorten the music so it's only a certain section of it. So this up a little bit. I never picked a song. Okay, so for this song, I know there's like a little break in the music. I'm going to set the timer so that it ends right at the break of the music. So I'm just going to slide this thing. Okay. So we'll do something like that and hit set timer. Then you're going to push go to set the timer again. And then you're going to, by the way, before I keep going, it is important to know what text you're going to write in your reel before you start. Because you don't want to just like record a reel and then at the end be like, what am I going to talk about? Okay, so now we're going to start and we're going to record for the section that's before that break in the music. So you're going to hit record. It's going to do the timer thing, 3, 2, 1, and it's going to record. You're going to dance or point or whatever you want to do. And then say you want a fancy transition, not a fancy one, but it is important to catch your audience's attention within the first 3 seconds. So sometimes that might look like a transition. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Maybe it's that you changed your shirt, or you changed your hairdo, or you changed rooms, or now you're outside, just to change it up a little bit. And because we put the timer music right at the break of the music, it's going to turn out really well. Does that make sense? Everyone doing okay? Okay, so now let's say I changed my shirt and I went outside. Now I'm going to record the second half. So I want to make sure all my settings are the same still. You'll probably have to put the filter back on if you had a filter on, because that goes away after you record. I'm going to go to the timer again just to make sure it's still where I want. Whoops. And it is. It starts right after that break again. And then I'm going to hit record. It's going to count down and then it's going to start right at the break. Here we go. And you're going to do whatever you had planned to do. Motion is good, by the way. You don't have to dance. You don't have to point, but just any sort of movement, not just standing in one place, is going to catch people's attention. Okay, so let's say now you've filmed all your stuff and you're happy with it. What you're going to do is hit preview, and it's going to show you everything that you filmed. Turn this down now. Now that's just going to play over and over and over on a loop until you're finished with it. But this is the step where you're going to start putting text or stickers or whatever it is that you want to put on it. So let's say, I don't know, who has a good idea for a reel? Anybody? Because I used this example before, let's just say my favorite personal development book or something. So for that first section before the break in the music, I'm going to add some text that is a hook. So we want a hook right now. Let's say I'm going to talk about the 3 best personal development books to move your business forward. that's a good hook. Someone's going to see that and be like, oh, I need to read those books because I need to move my business forward. So what I'm going to do now is hit these little A's in the, the A's in the top right-hand corner. And I'm going to type in my hook here. So 3 best personal development books to help move your business forward. Okay, if you want to change the size of that text over here on the left, you're just going to scroll up or down to just change the size of the paragraph.
Whitney,
yes.
Does that text just come up when you've actually recorded something? I have got a text button on mine.
Oh, yes, after you've recorded something.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Okay, so now the paragraph is what I want it to look like, but I want it to be smaller because I don't want to take it, like have it take up my face. So I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit and move it down or wherever you want it. Now it's important, you guys, to follow the dimensions of the Instagram squares. So it's going to give you a little bit of guidance. If you touch and hold, not push and hold, just touch and hold on that text and move it around, there are usually going to be little blue lines that show you where you should stay between. There's blue lines on the sides, there's one at the bottom, and there's one at the top. There's also one in the middle to show you where the middle is. You do not want to go outside any of those blue lines because otherwise it will be cut off and no one will be able to read it. Okay, so again, like I said, this text we want to be right before that drop in the music where our transition was. So I want to shorten it, right? The timing of it. So what I'm going to do is come to this little black circle that's down at the bottom and click that. And now here's where we can shorten that text. So I'm going to just drag this and go to where our transition was, which was right there. And then hit done. So now that text is only going to show up for those first 2 or 3 seconds. Now we want to start adding the 3 personal development books. So I'm going to say compound effect. Again, I just typed that in by hitting those A's up at the right-hand side. And again, now I have to move that where I want it to be. It can go right on top of that if you want, because it's not going to be there at the same time. And I'm going to change the timing of that. Does anyone remember where I do that? Ruth's got it at the bottom. So I'm going to click on this guy. And now I'm changing the timing. So I got to shorten it on the front side too. Have to have it come in after we did the transition. Maybe. Sometimes it gets a little sticky. There we go. Which was right here. See how the first one changes from like black to gray. I want it there. And then I'm going to shorten the other side to, let's say, to there. Okay, and hit done. So now I'm going to add my other 2 books and do the same thing. And then it's just going to keep her playing over and over. But when I'm happy with it, and by the way, you can add stickers too if you want them by hitting that sticky note, same as in stories, whatever you want. And you can also change the timing of those too. Let's say I'm happy with this. I'm going to hit next. And then you can save your draft here so that you don't have to post it right away. You can change the cover photo. So what you're going to do there is just click on cover, and you can either change it to some frame that you had within your video, or you can click on add from camera roll and pick one of your photos in your camera roll. Now what I do is before I create my reel, or maybe right after maybe I'll save it to drafts first and then I'll change my cover photo later. I'll go into Canva and I'll create a cover photo that has my hook on it, and I'll put it on my camera roll and then just move it from my camera roll to here. Okay, and then you can write in your caption, and You guys, there's a new Instagram update that says that you should write your hashtags within your caption, not your comments, if that makes a difference for anybody. And you should use 30 hashtags. Yeah. I think as a general rule, if you want to be really specific with your hashtags, and the hashtags are important because this is how your target audience is going to find you if they're searching for the hashtags or if they follow the hashtags. Like I said, you should have 30. 20 of your hashtags, because we all have pretty small accounts, 20 of your hashtags, if you just type in the hashtag in Instagram, 20 of them should have less than 300,000 views. 10 of them should have between 300,000 and 1 million views. Not really any bigger than that, because all of our accounts are pretty small, they're going to drown.
This sounds like a full-time job.
It's a lot to learn it all, but if you start practicing it, I mean, it'll take some time, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't take you that much time. Now,
It's
if
a
you
lot
are,
of fun. I find it to
It
be a lot
is.
of fun, just like when I started learning how to post on Facebook and get people interested in what I'm writing. Now I'm learning this stuff, and I think it's fun.
so if you do decide, or if you've already decided that Instagram is a place that you want to work on growing your business, as well as Facebook, like I said, I think it's really important to get into Reels if Instagram is something that you want to do. So what I suggest is setting aside 2 hours only per week to create Reels. So pick one day, like on Sunday or Monday, and set 2 hours. Do as many Reels as you can. So you're going to have to do a little planning before that, like have your list of ideas. Do however many Reels you can fit within 2 hours, and then you can post those throughout the week. Maybe when you first start, you're going to be able to do one during those 2 hours. But then as you continue to practice and get better, maybe you can fit in 5 and then 10. And as you get more experience with your Reels, you're going to have more to post per week. If you really do want to get serious with Instagram, I think doing about 4 Reels per week is a really good goal. Anything more than like 5 is going to burn you out. You don't want to do that. But doing at least 1 a week, I think, is really going to help move your business forward. What are your questions, thoughts, Ruth?
Quickly, so for TikTok, is it the same idea with your music and stopping and then recording, then stopping and recording?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, TikTok is very, very similar.
Okay, perfect.
There's some different filters and effects and stuff, but really it's very similar.
But it's the same. Okay, so that's how, like, I think of the one that you did where we threw the so that's what you did, like you filmed that and then you put it in using this technique.
Yes, and actually when I filmed that, I filmed it all on my camera roll.
Okay.
And then I think within my camera roll, I edited them down to make them shorter.
Okay.
And in order to make that transition, smooth, you've got to make them like
Real tight.
really, really tight, cut them off right there where that transition happens. And then I uploaded them all into Instagram Reels to fit them together. Now there is an app that I've been playing with that's probably a little too advanced if you're just getting started, but if you feel comfortable with Reels, the app called InShot has been really beneficial for me. Is anyone familiar with that app? Okay, so if you ever get to a point where you want to explore more with that, let me know. I can help you with that too. But it's just an app that allows you to do a little bit more fancy transitions.
Okay.
Hey, Whitney, it's Heather. Got a
Hey,
question.
Heather.
Are you posting your reels just to the reels section mostly, or are you cross-posting them to your stories? How are you doing with that?
I am not just posting it to my Reels section. I'm posting it to my feed. when you post it to your feed, it also goes into the reel section. Because otherwise, if it's in only your reels section, and just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about here. So on your profile, this first tab here, that's your feed. And then the second tab is your reels feed. But if you post something only to your reels feed, and when you go to post, it's going to give you the option. Do you want it in your reels feed or your regular feed? If you post it only to your reels feed, I don't think it's going to be like searchable. And I don't think it's going to go in front of as many people. So if you post it to your regular feed, it's just going to be more beneficial. Now, if it's a reel that you don't really like and you don't really feel like it gives value, then sure, maybe just your reels feed. But I think really to answer your question is, once I post it to my regular feed, immediately I like it. I make sure all my hashtags and everything are in it, and then I share it to my story. Because the more people share and save your reel right away, the more it's going to go out. So you can help that process out by doing it yourself. So how to share your reel is you go to your profile, click on your reel, and you're going to like it by hitting the heart. And then you're going to hit this little paper airplane thingy. And you're going to hit add reel to story. Now, anytime someone comes to your reel in your story, that counts as a view for you, which is really great. But what is even better to do is to cover this up and give a call to action to click on it so that they end up on your reel on your page, because then you get 2 views. Yeah, so here it is in my story. But what I like to do is then click on the sticker button and click on the photo button and add my cover photo that I used for the reel on top of it. So it was this one. So that's the one. I'm going to make it bigger to fill the screen. There it is. And then to give someone a call to action, I'm going to click on the sticker and I'm going to type in tap here. And I'll choose this one and move it to where I want. So now that's right there. Now, when someone watches my story and it says tap here, and it already has the hook on it because it was the cover photo that I used, they click tap here, it's going to bring them to your page where the reel is. So now you've gotten 2 views because it's played twice. Yes. Another thing that's really good to do. Oh, good. Another thing that's really good to do. Thank you. I'm so glad it's helpful. Before you post it to your story. So maybe you've already recorded it, you've saved it as a draft, and you know you're just about to post it. Go to your stories and give a little intro about it. Maybe ask a poll, like, have you ever wondered what the best personal development books are to move your business forward? Or what's your favorite personal development book? Or are you interested in learning what mine are? Just to start like getting people to think about it. And then the next story, they see this and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to watch that. Yep. What else? You guys have good questions. Anything?
I think you should do a step-by-step video course.
I'm working on it. I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
I did.
I'm going to have to watch this 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Hopefully I
my
can figure out.
walking in front of the camera. I'm going to have to watch this 3 or 4 times and play.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to extract the recording. I did do a reel tutorial in a reel, a minute long one, but it was so fast that I think a lot of people are having a hard time like getting through it. So I'm planning on shortening it up a little bit and doing a several part thing. Maybe I'll do that later today, because I do feel like there are so many Reels tutorials on Instagram. However, because Reels has been around for a while now, like longer than a year, it's hard to find basic Reels tutorials. They're all like the fancy things. So I think that's actually a good niche there. Yep. Who's gonna try a reel today? Yeah, Ruth. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mari.
I've been doing some and I've been posting on TikTok and then taking those. And then I have an app that I use to take off the TikTok watermark. And then I can then go ahead and post it to Reels and Instagram, and then also to Facebook. But I don't
Awesome.
do everything.
Yeah.
Because on TikTok, it's like you want to get 2 to 3 out there a day to really start growing. And you don't want to necessarily do that on, I don't think on Instagram. I don't know. No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, because that seems a little much. So I'll take maybe one that I do from the day and put that over into Reels and on my feed.
Yeah, that's smart. And it's very smart of you to take the watermark off, because yeah, Instagram won't really show it to people if you keep it on.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
I use an app called, in case anybody wants to know what that is, it's called Save Tick. There are several out there. There's several. I'm sure, Whitney, you probably use one. But anyway, so one that I like because it was really easy is called Save Tick.
Okay, and that it costs a little money per
That
month,
costs
right?
a little bit, but I really liked it because it was
Good.
easy to use.
Mhm.
And it worked really effectively. And it also has, you can see what's trending on there, and it'll show you trending hashtags as well.
Ooh, cool. That's awesome.
So that's been
I
helpful.
use InShot. I talked about InShot a little bit. So I record all my videos within InShot and I save them to my phone, and then I can just post it wherever and use the text wherever I may be. But I like that idea a lot because I haven't been able to find one. Heather, you asked about hashtags. On TikTok, you can only use like 5 or 6, but on Instagram, you should use all 30. Yep. Hi, Genevieve. Anybody else have any Reels tips? Because I know a few of you have done them.
Hey, Whitney, I just had a
Hey.
question about, you said add the hashtags when you add it to your news feed. So is that, I'm confused about that.
So when you do your reel and you write your caption for your reel, your hashtag should go in your caption. So I'll show you an example. This was a reel I did yesterday. So you can see my caption here, and then I do like 5 little dots and then all 30 of my hashtags. The dots are just to kind of hide it so people don't see them really. But
Hey, Whitney,
even
do you
yeah.
save your hashtags? Do you repeat a lot of your hashtags? So do you have them saved so that you don't have to? Okay.
I do. Now, I have a feeling Instagram likes you to vary them, but I feel like I don't have time to like make 5 different groups of hashtags. So I really only have one, but I think you should have probably 3 groups. But what I do for that, this is also a great tip, is to come to settings in your phone if you have an iPhone and click on, oh gosh, I think it's general. And then keyboard. And then text replacement. And then click the plus sign in the right. And what you're going to do there, where it says phrase, you're going to add all your whole group of hashtags, like all 30 hashtags. And then the shortcut, you type in .NWN or secret or whatever you want to call that group. So then when you're writing your caption, or anytime you need to add a hashtag, you just type in dot and then that phrase and they'll all pop up. So it saves so much time.
Can you
Yeah.
put that like in the group chat, like screenshot that?
Sure.
Or if everybody else doesn't want it, Just send
How
it to
about
me.
I'll make a reel about it and then I'll post the reel.
Just let me know.
Okay.
Like,
Like that
yeah,
saves
I'm
like
at Belks for
10
my
minutes a
dad.
day.
I couldn't write it down.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep. That saves a lot of time.
thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Cool. All righty. Well, if no one has any other questions or comments, we'll wrap it up. But please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or feel like you need help with this stuff, and I'm happy to. And I'm
Thank you
looking
so
forward to seeing your
much.
reels.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Whitney.
You're welcome. I
And
hope
guys,
everyone has a good
remember
Friday.
too, they can be really, really, really simple, and they
Yeah.
don't have to be anything. I mean, just get stuff out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, y'all, my reels aren't like real valuable content yet. Like I did one on the turtles that I saw on the page.
But that stuff is great. It's just getting stuff out there, and
It is.
yeah.
Totally. The more you feel comfortable just getting your face on the camera, the better.
Now I figure I'll work on content, but
Yeah, I mean, I have noticed recently, because I've been looking at my insights quite a bit, is the reels that do better are the ones that people share and save. So as you're creating your reels, if you want it to be something that, goes sort of viral or whatever, think about, okay, what is my audience going to share and save? Yeah.
I just checked on
Alrighty.
my Samsung to see if I have the same thing as the iPhone, and I have text
Yay.
replacement. I never even knew that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You could probably do that for like prospecting messages if it doesn't sound like super copy and pasty.
Yeah. Or all my hashtags, like I have mindset hashtags, I have,
Mhm.
reach your goal hashtags, I have inspirational hashtags, stuff like that.
can you
Perfect.
just say one more time the steps in doing saving that? I'm gonna try to see if I can remember what you told me, what you said.
So you go to settings on your phone,
Okay,
you go to general,
okay,
keyboard,
okay.
text replacement.
Settings, general, keyboard, text replacement. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. If you just text that.
Okay,
Settings, keyboard, general, text replacement.
will do.
Thank you. Okay,
You're welcome.
that's great. Thanks.
Okay, guys.
And
Well,
on the Samsung, it says text shortcuts.
Oh, cool.
So you go into more typing options. And you'll see text shortcuts. For
Awesome.
people who have Androids.
Very cool. All right, you guys. I hope you all have a happy Friday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Whitney.
You're welcome.
This
Talk
was
to you guys
awesome,
later.
Whitney. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad. Bye.